I just want to keep it real and let you know how I'm feeling, what's going on. It's just scary. I'm terrified. I want to share everything with you, but I also need to protect myself and my child. Eloise is currently going down for her nap, but she tends to talk for like half an hour to an hour before she falls asleep. So if you hear her in the background, that is just her talking herself to sleep. Hello everybody, it's Delilah and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my 31-week pregnancy update. We are in the single digits now for countdown. There's only 9 weeks left to go, give or take. If this baby comes early like Eloise did, there's only going to be like 7 weeks left until I give birth, which is insane. Today's pregnancy update is going to be a little bit different than my usual ones. I kind of just want to sit down and kind of talk to you about how I'm feeling. I've been getting lots of questions about like how I feel about baby number 2, how I feel I'm going to handle 2 under 2, and if I'm nervous about the birth or anything like that. And so I'm just going to sit down, I'm going to talk about it. I've been having a lot of feelings lately, so I feel like I need to get them out. That is why we're in a bit of a different location this time. I figured it would just make more sense to make this more personal, chatty video in my bedroom where I'm more comfortable. We're going to start with the baby's development as usual. So this is what the baby looks like right about now. Getting very, very big to fit on the screen. This is the Pregnancy Plus app, and for week 31 it says it is about 16.69 inches and about 3.75 pounds. There isn't too much space left inside your uterus now. Your baby's movements will gradually increase week by week until this time when they will plateau but not reduce. The care you receive will depend on your stage of pregnancy. Your baby will not run out of room. It should continue to move up to and during birth. The fetal position is becoming a familiar position for your baby. Your baby can now use all the 5 senses. Your baby is busy looking around, practicing breathing, grabbing whatever is in reach, testing amniotic fluid, and listening to the sound of both you and your partner's voice. Alright, let's get out my list of things that I wanted to talk about. We're going to start with my doctor's appointment this week. I am seeing my doctor every 2 weeks now. So last week was my first bi-weekly appointment. I haven't gained any weight, and I stepped on the scale again this morning. I still haven't gained any weight, which I hope is not a concern. I'm still sitting at that 17-18 pound mark of weight gain as I was in the last update, so I'm not sure why I haven't gained any weight, but I'm hoping it's not a problem. I am eating a lot of food, so it's kind of surprising that I'm not gaining weight. My doctor did notice that the weight gain was very minimal in this last checkup, but she didn't really say anything. She kind of measured me and I assume everything was fine. So I'm feeling baby move a lot, and baby's heartbeat was very clear on the Doppler at the appointment, so all should be fine. The heartbeat was again 132 beats per minute, which is interesting because this baby's heartbeat has been all over the place. It used to be in the 160s, then it was 140s, then 160, and now 130. But yeah, totally good, totally healthy and strong. I also asked to make sure that I could film during the birth, and my doctor said that was totally fine just as long as I let them know. And I did mention that I want to post it to YouTube, and I said that I would blur out the faces, and she said that would be fine just as long as they know. So I guess I'm gonna have to try and mention that to the nurses and doctors while I'm in labor, that I am filming and posting this to YouTube. This baby's movements are very strong and they're very often in the same place. And I really feel like my uterus is starting to get bruised from the inside out. I don't know if that's a thing. I don't know if that's like actually possible, but that's kind of what it feels sometimes. And sometimes the baby almost pushes on a nerve or something, and I can feel a shooting pain all the way down to like my feet. Those movements are just the most magical thing in the world, and I'm gonna miss them so much once this baby is born. As I mentioned before, I have varicose veins down there in my lady parts. Most days I don't notice them too much, but they do feel very heavy and kind of sore. Some days are worse than others, and the only thing I can do is put my feet up as much as I can. The pelvic pain I've been experiencing, again, isn't anything extreme. I really only notice it at night when I'm trying to toss and turn. For some reason, that movement going from one side to the other when I'm laying down is pretty painful on my pelvic area. It also makes it a bit difficult to get up in the morning. The first walk to the bathroom in the morning is pretty painful, but it gets easier throughout the day. And again, some days are worse than others, but I'm not in excruciating pain or anything, thankfully. One thing I will say though is that my big pregnancy pillow is a lifesaver. I really feel like that's really helping with the pelvic pain. I'll link the one that I have below if you're curious about it, but it has been the best. Really the only other thing I'm noticing is that I'm just really tired overall. It's at that point where I'm just generally uncomfortable, I'm tired. It takes a lot of work to get up and to move around. Chasing after Eloise can be quite a chore most days because she is so busy. She's constantly moving, constantly getting into things she's not supposed to get into, so I find myself just sometimes almost getting lazy when it comes to parenting, and I know that's so bad, but sometimes it's not worth the effort to get up and to tell her no or to distract her and show her something else. It's just getting very tiring. One last thing is cravings. For this whole pregnancy, I have craved iced tea, and that is still going strong. I still really want iced tea. That's something that's really weird for me personally because I'm normally just a water drinker, like that's all I drink. For some reason, iced tea has just really been hitting the spot. Or sometimes like ice water, super cold water, sounds really good to me. Another thing that's been really hitting the spot lately is pineapple. I could eat a whole pineapple a day, I swear. It just tastes so good to me. Fruit and veggies haven't really been a big thing that I've wanted during pregnancy, but for some reason pineapple hits the spot. Now I'm going to move into the more, I guess, serious stuff. I'm also just going to talk about how I'm feeling, how I'm really doing. I just want to keep it real and let you know how I'm feeling, what's going on. If you watched my last vlog, you know that Zach is currently unemployed, and I think that's kind of started this whole feelings thing. Plus I'm at the stage where I'm getting close to the birth, and there's just a lot of thoughts running through my head right now. I've had a lot of very conflicting feelings. On one hand, I am so eager to meet this baby. I cannot wait to know if it's a boy or a girl, and I just can't wait to put a face to those kicks that I'm feeling and to know like this little person that I'm growing inside of me. Can't wait to get to know their little personality and to see how Eloise reacts to her baby brother or sister. I'm beyond excited for the birth of this child, but I also feel very unprepared and unready. And I think that's just a part of becoming a mother, especially for the second, third, fourth time. After a year and a half with Eloise, we have gotten to a point where I feel like I can handle things again. I can handle working from home and keeping the house clean and taking care of my daughter. Like I feel like I can handle it all pretty well. Things are gonna change so dramatically when this child arrives, and I'm a little bit scared for all of those changes. I don't feel totally ready to go through the whole like sleepless nights thing all over again, especially while looking after Eloise as well. There's just so many thoughts and feelings that go through my head when I think about how unprepared and unready I feel. We're also at that point where I guess you could probably call it nesting. I feel like we just need to get things done. In a way, it's almost nice that Zach is laid off right now because I've been putting him to work. He's currently in the garage doing some DIYs for the baby room and for our room, and we're just slowly working on getting things completely ready before the baby comes. Trying to get as much done as we possibly can because I know that once the baby comes, I'm not gonna have time for anything else. Don't even know how I'm gonna manage to keep up with YouTube. I'm really hoping I can keep up with 2 videos a week, but I mean, who knows? I just have no idea how it's gonna be or how I'm gonna manage everything. It's something that you can't really prepare yourself for, and you just kind of have to face it when it comes and take each day as it comes. I hope that kind of explains the conflicting feelings I've been feeling about feeling ready but not ready at the same time. As I mentioned, I'm also really scared of handling 2 under 2, especially once Zach does find a job and when he is working again and I'm solo parenting, working from home and being a mom of 2 under 2, especially during that newborn stage, because newborns require a lot of attention. In some ways they are really easy to handle compared to a toddler, but in other ways they are a lot more work than a toddler. Having to wake up every 2 to 3 hours at night is something that I'm not looking forward to at all because I'm gonna be so sleep deprived. When I'm sleep deprived, I get hormonal and I get emotional, and I'm just really scared of how I'm going to handle everything with a toddler who will be going through the terrible twos. And I mean, it's going to be an adjustment for Eloise too, so she's likely going to be acting out as well. It's just a lot to think about and a lot to take in. I know it's going to be okay. I'm going to manage. God's going to give me the strength I need. But it's just scary. I'm terrified. With Eloise, after I gave birth to her, I experienced, I don't know if it was postpartum depression, I don't know if I can call it that, but extreme hormones I experienced. And for quite a long time, for about like 4 to 5 months, I was not myself. That was probably the hardest time of my life. One of the best times, but also one of the hardest times. I just was not myself and I couldn't think clearly, and I just felt so emotional at the time and so angry and upset and frustrated. I just really hope I don't feel that way again, but I know there's a good chance that I will be, because that rush of hormones just comes after giving birth. It's part of the postpartum journey and it is scary. I'm just really praying and hoping that I don't experience it quite as bad as I did with Eloise. Another thing, this is a huge thing for me, maybe not so much for other people, but as a YouTuber, I am terrified of the mom shaming that I know is going to come with having a baby. I don't know what it is, but moms on YouTube, not all moms, lots of you guys are super great and super supportive, but I have learned along the way that many moms have lots of very rude and unnecessary things to say to a mom with a baby versus a toddler. I really don't get a whole lot of, you know, mom shaming or hate at the moment with Eloise, and it's been great. But I know that when a baby is born, there will be a lot of opinions thrown about and a lot of people shaming me for decisions that I make, and that's just the way it is, and it's really sad that that is how it is. That is part of being a YouTuber, and I know that that's gonna come no matter what. I'm trying to mentally prepare myself for it, but it's kind of hard. My battery is flashing at me and I'm pretty sure my other battery is dead, so hopefully I can finish this all before I have to go. It's really unfortunate that mothers with a newborn baby tend to get a whole lot more hate and criticism and opinions, because that is the time when a mom is the most fragile. I mean, you're sleep deprived, you're hormonal, you're trying to figure things out, you're trying to figure your baby out, you're trying to adjust to having a new baby and this whole new lifestyle, and that is the time that moms should be supporting moms. That is not the time to be giving opinions or shaming anybody, but that's just the way it is, and it's so sad. So that's something that I'm also really terrified about, especially on topics such as vaccines. Breastfeeding, sleeping is a big one, and crying. Those are like the 4 main topics that moms get very opinionated about. So I don't know how much of that I'm going to share. I want to share everything with you because I know it is really helpful for other new moms to hear what other new moms go through. But I also need to protect myself and my child. I'm not sure how much I'm going to share with you guys this time around. We'll see how things go and how I'm feeling and how the baby's doing, but I'm definitely going to try and keep it as real as I can for you guys. Lately I've been starting to get nervous about the birth as well. I was not nervous about the birth up until about now. Like, it didn't scare me at all. I felt like I was totally prepared because I've done it once, I can do it again, you know? The scenarios of what could go wrong have just been running through my head, and it's just so scary not knowing when it's gonna happen, how it's gonna happen, how fast it's gonna happen, if we're gonna be able to get the medical care that we need, and it never goes according to plan. Births just don't happen like that, and so I'm a little bit scared. I'm also scared about going through all that pain again. I'm starting to remember what that pain was like. I don't even know what to say, like I'm at loss for words. It's just such a crazy experience, and I'm at one hand I'm so excited for the birth, but just so terrified at the same time. The last thing I want to talk about is gender. You guys know we do not know the gender, and it's kind of a fun surprise to us to not know the gender. But it's also something that I think about a lot, is just wondering who this little person is. And the other day I was doing my devotions, and as I was finishing praying, I was praying that God would help me be the example that He needs me to be, so that I can be an example to my daughter. For some reason, I just had this vision. We were in the hospital and I was holding a baby girl in my arms. I didn't just have one daughter, I had daughters, plural. I had 2 daughters. and it seemed so clear, and it seemed so natural, and like, I don't know how to explain it. It was just so clear. And I've had dreams about this baby being a girl. I keep accidentally calling the baby she, but I feel like that partially is because Eloise is my baby and that's all I've ever known. It was just such a crazy thing. I wanted to mention it that happened. But at the same time, I keep going back to that one time, and then we had that strange encounter with a stranger who pretty much predicted this baby is going to be a boy, and everybody's telling me it's going to be a boy. Like, pretty much every single one of you is saying that you are team boy, you think it's a boy, judging by my belly shape and my cravings and all that stuff. But the cool thing is that we just don't know. It could be either or. There's a 50-50 chance no matter what belly shape I have or what I'm craving. Whatever happens, I'm just trying to prepare myself for it, and I know this baby is going to be so loved no matter what. Anyways, I think that is everything for this pregnancy update. Overall, I am feeling pretty good about everything. I have days where I feel very overwhelmed and very anxious about the birth and handling 2 under 2, but I overall feel pretty good about it and pretty excited and eager to meet this little one, even though I know it's going to be such a crazy change. I'm going to have to adjust the camera so that I can film a little bump shot for you guys, but I'll end the video with that. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys. This is the belly with the shirt on. This is the belly shirt up. It's a very low little bump. What do you guys think? Do you think it's grown since the last update, or do you think it looks the same?
If I could take you up in boom boom boom, boom boom, tell me I'm the only one that you know. Life could be a dream.